Before this game, I was saying, like I felt like Vegas was going to lose. The Vegas loses to the Edmonton Oilers in Game 1 of Round 2, the Stanley Cup Playoffs, 4-2. And, you know, thinking back on that, no, screw that. It is just one game. And the Edmonton Oilers were the better team for most of the game, but it didn't start off that way. Vegas starts out 2-0, 2 goals from Mark Stone, 1 on a power play. And I want to address this now, Oiler fans, ha 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 ha, you know, congrats on Game 1, whatever. Complaining about the refs? No, like don't do that, guys. It's ridiculous. And I'm not saying that because, oh, I'm a Vegas fan, we get all the call. No, it's ridiculous to blame do something about it. If Vegas blamed the refs for Game 7 against San Jose, I'd say the same thing because they still let in 4 goals on that major power play that shouldn't have been a major, but like that was Vegas's fault. You don't do that if you want to win Game 7, right? You also don't usually get a 5-minute major call based off of looking at the aftermath. And I do want to address that because this is what brought all of us up. Vegas gets a 4-minute power play because Thomas Hertl, I think, got high-sticked in the face and it drew blood. And according to the rules, I know it was a while after when it actually happened and they went back and reviewed it. And with penalties, that's not allowed unless there's blood. In the rule book, that's what's stated. Also in the rule book, when it comes to high sticking, yes, did the stick lift go into his teammate's face? Yes, that was initiated by Vegas. However, that's not the rule. For high sticking, you have to be in control of your own stick. So don't complain about, oh, the refs are favoring Vegas. No, complain about the rule book and the way that that is said. Sure, 100%. I can understand where you're coming from in that regard, but it's not on Vegas. And I saw a decent amount of reasonable Oilers fans saying, yeah, no, that was a legitimate penalty. But still, there are so many people constantly complaining about the refs and all this jazz, and meanwhile I'm sitting here having to assess every single penalty as some sort of trauma from fans complaining about every single call, non-call, whatever from the previous series. And so I'm sorry if that's not what any of us want to talk about is specifically a penalty here or there. Nick Waugh's holding penalty, yeah, 100%, that was a good call. The non-call on the high stick at the other end of the ice after the power play was over, good call because that was Vegas hitting his own guy. Like, you know, good stuff, right? 100%. Those are a good non-call and a good call against Vegas. I can admit my team commits penalties. That's crazy to me that apparently that's not common amongst hockey fans. A little bit of copium that I'm nitpicking and talking bad about other people. I'm not trying to insult because if you're not doing that, cool, good. You know hockey. That's great. Welcome. And I'm not trying to gatekeep either. I'm not trying to say like, oh, well, clearly you're just not a hockey fan. No, you're just a misunderstood, like you do not understand the rules hockey fan. Whatever. And Vegas goes up, they score, it's a double deflection, it goes off of Carlson and then Mark Stone's body and into the back of the net past Calvin Pickard to make it 1-0. And then really good defensive play to take away the puck from McDavid, that line, and go the other way. Mark Stone rips it past Pickard, it's 2-0 Vegas early. And you feel good, especially because before this game I was thinking, oh no, Vegas is not gonna win this game, whatever. I don't know why I thought that, that's how I felt. I legitimately have no idea how this series is gonna go. It would not surprise me either way. Edmonton sweeping us, Vegas winning in 5 now, I guess. It like just genuinely would not surprise me because it just depends on which team shows up to play. And for most of this game, it was the Edmonton Oilers. They hemmed us in the entire second period. And the thing is they scored also one. It was Corey Perry off of a beautiful play in transition from Edmonton's top line. Draisaitl up to McDavid, McDavid over to Perry, Perry with the slide deke on Hill and deep, and he buries it, and it's 2-1 going into the second period. And then the second period happens where the Oilers hem Vegas in for the entire period. Vegas only gets 1 shot, and meanwhile Edmonton gets 15. And they also have a couple of power play opportunities in that span too, Edmonton does. And legitimate calls, by the way. The entire second period, like, It wasn't great. I wanted Vegas to have some time in the offensive zone to be able to cushion that lead, because obviously you need that, because the Edmonton Oilers are never out of a game. You could be up 5-0 with 1 minute left to go in the third, and you just never know. And also, that's the modern NHL. I think Edmonton would blow leads too, but I don't know. No, let's find out next game. Let's I'd rather not play with a 2-goal lead against Edmonton specifically, because Edmonton, they do better when they're behind. And then Vegas, with 2-goal leads this entire season, I've noticed that they just let off the gas. And you can't do that when you're like up 2-0 with 50 minutes left to play in the game. You can't do that against any team, but especially against Edmonton. The entire second period, I didn't feel like panicky, because Vegas was solid. And I understand the irony of saying this now, but I felt it in the moment and I need to talk about it. Hill was incredible in that second period. Definitely the best player on the ice for Vegas. He had to be. But also, during the penalty kills, I was super impressed with how intentional Vegas was with their clears. They were rocketing that puck out of the zone, up the ice, whatever. And that's impressive to me, and that's stupid that that's impressive to me, because literally the last like 3 seasons, I've seen them so lackadaisically just flinging the puck just on a hope and a prayer that it even gets out of the zone. And that's not how you can play. That's how you let in more. That's how you get hemmed in. That's how you're not allowed to get changes. But they were doing good, and that was spearheaded a little bit by Eichel, which, good. But also that I didn't feel panicky, because defensively they were stalwart. They allowed some shots, and on paper that second period was dominant from Edmonton, but it didn't feel like it to me. That being said, Vegas cannot just play prevent defense. You have to be able to have offensive chances and keep Edmonton on their toes, especially Bouchard, the Booch Bomb, whatever, the most overrated defenseman in the league. That please pay him over $10 million per season. That would be just so good. I'm all about players getting all the money, right? And then you can just get him injured and have him on LTR until game 1, whatever. No, it's incredible to me how just bad he is at play him at forward. I'm not even kidding. Put him in left wing, OV spot, and just have him rifle pucks, because he can hit the puck super hard. But it benefits greatly from being able to play with McDavid and Draisaitl. And that's literally goes for anyone. You could stick anyone on that line, and for the most part, they're going to be able to produce on some level. Vegas in 2023 did a really good job of shutting the Edmonton Oilers down, especially that top line. They still got points. Leon Draisaitl scored 3 goals in the first game, and Vegas still won that game. And we didn't win this game, but it is what it is. I'm talking a lot. I want to be done with this. Not because we lost. It's 12:30 for me, and I hate watching sports on the East Coast. I'm born and raised in Vegas, and I just saw the jersey behind me again, and I know that this is my Edmonton jersey, but the irony. I knew in the third period, I was like, what if it's Zach Hyman? And it was Zach Hyman off of in transition, turnover, whatever. And he comes in, he gets the puck from Vander freaking Kane, and he rifles it. He beats Hill clean, and it goes in to give Edmonton a 3-2 lead. I completely skipped how they tied it. 1 minute into the third period, and it's a terrible goal after how amazing Vegas was defensively, and then also Hill. The fact that that was the one that they let in after that, oh jeez. Whoops. Edmonton, the puck goes crazy, and then Leon Draisaitl from behind the net just flings it on to Hill, who's out of his crease, and it bounces off of him and in. And that's not great. But honestly, the fact that it was 2-2 up until 3 minutes left to go, and then, Edmonton scored twice in a minute 14, whatever. Not that anybody was counting. Shows that Vegas is different than LA. I still believe that, defensively, that we're a little bit more solid than LA was, even though they had a Vezina caliber goalie and Kemper. I just feel like Vegas' system under Bruce Cassidy, with the defensive 200-foot player that is Jack Eichel, that can also if he's not missing the net, score really, really well and have amazing passes and all that jazz. It's something that they're going to need to step up. Bruce Cassidy put the lines in a shuffle again, so we'll see who he ends up playing with. But honestly, we're down 1-0. And against Colorado in 2021, we lost game 1, 7-1. Some ridiculous, and they had a 9-minute power play, and we mostly killed it off for a good chunk of that. But no, yeah, we lost 7-1 in game 1, and albeit that was on the road. We lost game 1 against the Minnesota Wild in 2021 in the series that went 7, and it's one game of the series. You know, we got to figure out how to do better at creating those chances. They outlined it really well in the broadcast. They had said that Vegas spent so much energy and time defending well that they can't break out because they can only just dump it deep, have one shot maybe to on goal, and then Edmonton's coming back the other way with another line. Edmonton's depth is different than 2023. Much like how Vegas's power play is different. We're also power play merchants from 2023. That's completely different. But the key to the series is going to be figuring out how to have better breakouts, how to limit the time that we're hemmed into the zone, and how to just keep our foot on the freaking gas. But Edmonton, congrats, you were the better team. I'm not at all it sucks that we were up 2-0, but like the fact that this game ended the way that it did, like it really could have been so much worse. Yep, nope, Zach Hyman. Other than Matthias Janmark, I guess my favorite Oiler. I really like Jake Wallman too. And then Shea Theodore was gassed, but also he tapped this puck over to Connor Brown the other way as Connor Brown deked around him, a gassed Theodore, you know. And it was a beautiful assist from Theodore for Connor Brown empty net goal. But you know, at least it wasn't 4 from him today. Oh, save that for game 2, eh? If you want to talk about the refs, most of you that are, if any, comment on this saying, oh, I don't know what I'm talking about with the refs thing. No, I agree with Hill knocking that would have been tie game. Corey Perry would have probably scored there and that would have been in. I don't know the context for that. I don't know what happened. It didn't happen the rest of the game. Something to look out for. It did happen a couple of times in the Minnesota series, but not on the verge of a scoring attempt from Minnesota. So I don't think it was on purpose, but it probably still should have been a penalty on Vegas at least, or if not, an automatic goal allowed. I need to read the rule book on that specifically. I only looked at the ones that I knew where they would be, the high sticking, etc. And then the call on Brown, I think I understand why he was upset by that one, but because Howden pushed him into Hill and it wasn't really goaltender interference because it was initiated by Vegas. And then, but the time where the whistle went early, the puck was technically underneath Hill. McDavid dug it out from underneath, and the whistle was blown. It would have been an easy goal for Edmonton, but it was covered, and you can't just dig the puck out. So I don't know. It is there, but it's Hill's laying on top of it. So in my opinion, that was a good call with the whistle there, even though you guys probably didn't like it. And I feel like I am very fair when it comes to refs and how Vegas and all that jazz and calls and they go. And if it was against Vegas, I would feel differently. No, that's not how it works with me. I've been a fan of hockey since 2009. Well, no, I've been a fan of hockey since I was a kid. I went to Thunder games as an infant and Wrangler games as a kid. And then I've watched the NHL since 2009 and intermittently. And then when Vegas got a team, it's hardcore. And it's been 8 years. 8 years, people get their med degree in that time. And I have put in a lot of time and effort, honestly more than I probably put in to get my bachelor's degree, into analyzing and doing all this stuff with hockey. And it's been videoed and all that jazz. But I'm ranting, I'm rambling now. I'm gonna finish this off. Congrats, Oil. Sorry, I don't like you guys. I'm sure it's mutual, whatever. But yeah, nope, do better on Thursday. And if we want to give Edmonton, if we want to start the game 1-0 Edmonton, great. And then Vegas will just, you know, continue to do it the rest of the game, as long as they don't get a 2-3 goal lead or whatever. But that's going to be it for game round 2. Second round. Fun fact, I've made more second, third, final round videos than Steve Dangle. Is what it is. That's going to be it for round 2, game 1's nightly review. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night.